All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the UAA Esports season. Oop, a little bit of a production error. Had to get this done, and it's actually Lotus. Let's get Lotus all mixed up. Getting back into the stream, getting back into the swing of things. Welcome back, everybody, to the UAA Esports season for NECC. My name is Bryson Little, also known as AK Kutta, and I'm going to be your host today and streamer caster for the Valorant match for our Valorant team. If you have been touched in or tapped in for the past couple of semesters, we have actually not had a Valorant team, so it's incredibly exciting to finally be able to field one. A little bit of a tidbit is that our Valorant's actually the highest played game in our esports lounge. Actually, it's second of Fortnite, but luckily this time around we were actually able to field a Valorant team this time around, so definitely exciting stuff to see. And now excited to go into this map of Lotus, chosen by our Seawolves. Are going to be starting on the T side of things, with the defending side on NM State, New Mexico State White. If anyone knew anything from the placement tournament that happened last week, we actually played this exact same team before we started going forward. So this time around, it'll be pretty much a rematch going into this game, so it's super exciting. Unfortunately, we did lose against NM State last week on the map Ascent, but this time around Lotus going to be a little bit of a different story, hopefully. And as we look at the team comps, looks fairly interesting on both sides of the board. Definitely the view. Gotta turn off all of this stuff. Definitely turn down the audio quite a bit as well. Here we go. Everything looks good. Got to get back into the swing of things when it comes to the production side of things. Let's get a good look at our team here, as we got a Reyna, Vice, Fade, Omen, and Raze. Double duelist going into this side of the comp. The last time we played this team, we actually did run double innie, but I don't believe it worked to the best of our ability, so it looks like we're switching things up and going for the more aggressive type of a comp here. Last time we played on Lotus, we were able to strike very strong despite technical difficulty, but this time around looking to turn the tides and make a statement for the beginning of this round and the season as a whole. Early pressure towards A main is going to be a quick one-for-one trade, but looks like Architect on the side of NM State is going to try to stake their claim. Gets one pick, but is going to hopefully get traded here. And it's just one-for-ones back and forth. No lurks have been coming up for the most part on either side, so looks like A main's going to be the side to take. Rack's going to be the one to try to initiate some damage as the Breacher is going to fall. Rack gets the next, and all that's left is the Clove of Lunozen on NM State. Left all alone in a 3v1. UAA looking to make a strong statement in this first round of attack.
Rip and tear. No more thorns.
Vice thorns go up towards heaven. Alerts the location of this Clove. Slightly a 2v1, as our Raze is quite literally at 1 health here. Any sort of stray will unfortunately meet her demise.
Not ready yet.
But as she goes to swing out, Fade Dog goes out. Sonata gets the info. Raze pack comes through. Lunozen's able to take one, but Rack with the 3k on the round is able to clean things up. And that strikes the first blood for UAA, taking things 1-0 to start this map. And a strong start in this revenge series. Apologies for the sound. I believe the sound might have been doubled for a sec. But don't worry, we're just trying to fix production things as we go throughout the season, so don't worry. As we go further throughout the rest of the season, everything will be much more cleaner. Razonate's going to clear out the initial. While the breach stun slows down things to begin with, that Cypher is definitely going to be a problem if the corners aren't checked. Calm should have gone through as the first kill goes out to Rack falling, but missed it quickly with the trade. The reinforcements from NMSU are starting to come in a little bit quick, but with the lack of weaponry, they're not able to enter site as quickly as they wanted to. All Vice utility is going to be for nothing. But again, with the weaponry of UAA, they should be able to handle this onslaught coming in from NMSU here. Phoenix going to get that first pick. Sonata looking for anything on site. Is able to get the first, but this is all of a sudden starting to lead up all the way to Mystic as he sees the next one on site. He's able to get the dismiss off. Grenade comes through. Is going to stall him out. And this stick is going to be intimate. But if he's able to see it here, he's able to get the spray transfer. Beautiful stuff from Mystic. And that's able to capitalize a very scary round on the save from New Mexico State. But they're able to clean things up and luckily take it 2-0. Despite losing a bit of econ there, UAA is looking to hopefully get a nice bonus here. Looking at the buys in the scoreboard early, Mystic was able to capitalize on getting a Guardian going into this next round. It looks like a couple of them aren't able to full buy, really, going with the Bulldog. So it's definitely going to be an interesting round. A lot of Sheriffs on board. And from what I've seen from this team, you cannot sleep on them when it comes to these Sheriffs. Playing extremely quiet here. The good thing about this, however, is that there has been no presence, really. There's been really no presence on the side of New Mexico State on A main, so they have no clue whether or not they're lurking C or not. And beautiful shot from the side of Mystic's going to open things up. Blind not able to go exactly where he wants, but this is some good bait of util here. Mystic still keeping and making an amount of noise. And if you look at the minimap, New Mexico State pretty much rotated on the opposite side. Mystic is doing God's work on the other end. And it's really up to the fade of Lunosa, or Architect rather, to see and call. And I mean, with that noise of tree door opening and the fade dog going out, not going to be able to catch anything, but that is going to be the spike planted on the A site. And things are looking up for UAA so far. Spike down, and we're now in a post plant. It's going to be still a lack of weaponry, despite it being a 4v5. So it's going to be really whoever's able to deal the most damage here. Boats trying to get as much as possible, but that's going to be 2 quick picks for the side of New Mexico State. Still trying to hold on to the line. It's going to be Sonata, but he quickly falls. It's going to be all up to Rack inside of Tree here to see if he can land any shots. He's able to take down the Clove. That's at least one. He gives Mystic a door to open, but it's quickly shut. Rack still looking for more picks. He's able to find 3 with the Sheriff. He still has the nade in hand, but oh, just being too low of health. Architect's able to take him down. And a really nice round from the side of UAA. But it's all cut short by the side of Architect. A really nicely played round, regardless with the rotates and how everything was played out from the beginning to the end. And yeah, because of that round, Architect, the only one left with a Vandal and some full shield. The rest of the team kind of stuck with some Sheriffs. They do have a Marshal, so in the hands of the Breach that they are pushing into, so definitely could be a little bit worse for wear if a 110 shot is hit. Contrary to last round, it looks like they are taking space towards A main, so they kind of know that this spot is free. It looks like they're playing for that rotate, but this time around, it might be baiting towards B. They have an idea of where this Cypher's sitting, and they were able to take a good chunk of shield off of him. But hopefully going into the future rounds, they kind of leave a lurk going towards that A side, because you can see already they have no clue what is cleared over here. And they're terrified if anybody lurked up. Mystic checking every single corner within his own spawn. He has no clue what New Mexico State player could just be sitting in a corner.
30 seconds left.
As the timer ticks down, it looks like a beautiful shot's going to be landed for Mystic, but the final goal for UAA is still unknown. Nightmare's going to come through from the side of Architect, but quickly shut down by Phoenix. Sonata gets a kill on the other end as well, and the spike is going to be going down to B. Breach tried to swings out, trying to make a hero play, but it's not going to be all for naught. And Phoenix and Mystic are just taking over these rounds, leading us to a 3-1 scoreline. Strong start for the side of UAA. Looks like they really opt to do their 5-man hits. I mean, the thing about New Mexico State is, like, I'm sure they're probably going to notice it later on in the games, but the fact that they're not picking up on it right now and not doing anything about it, like taking space towards sand or mound and pushing up towards B main, even A main here, like, they did a good job in the very first round towards pistol, but everything after that was just extremely passive. And this passiveness is just allowing UA to just take side for free. Rack here is going to see the sights on Koga. It's going to take the raise down, and it's going to be Mystic that tries to push through, but he gets Cypher wired, and unfortunately he's not able to find it. Wire comes through from the side of the Fade Dog, and it looks like a rotate might be in hand as main entry duelist of Mystic is down. It's going to be a breach done to slow things down, and looks like they're going to be a little bit of a pinch here. They're able to fight their way through. You got to choose the lesser of two evils here. As the Visal is going to come through. Rack gets a pick on the flank side of things. Breach Flash is going to come through to slow things down. That's a double flash, but the shots aren't able to land on both sides. That's going to be Spike trying to be planted. Fade swings out. Is able to get pick with the Stinger. But it's going to be Sonata just sitting in this smoke here as Phoenix falls. And the smoke has not much time left as both players are just sitting and waiting for a pick to fall in their hands. And as Rack is able to get one, he's not able to pick up anymore. And a highly unfortunate round. I would have loved to see if right when Rack got that pick, he was able to just calm any sort of flip.
No more charges left.
So that they're able to move it back into the favor of UAA, but just unfortunately, after getting that pick there, he just wasn't able to calm a flank or rotate, and they just decided to go forward. All right, going into round 6, ladies and gentlemen, 2-3 scoreline in favor of UAA, our very first Valorant team for our competitive rosters. Fade ult, Nightmare is going to rain all over the A site. They know that the Cypher's here, and they're going to have to clear out these util one way or another. Mystic just threw the smokes completely blind. Someone check his PC, but it's going to be the Raze ult to shut things down. That's going to be the showstopper online. It is going to take down Phoenix and the Spike Planter. Rack just lying and waiting to try to get any sort of pinch here that he can see from heaven. The Boombot is going to spot him, and he's going to pay the price for it. However, Boats quickly with the trade is able to get one. Sonata trying to match exactly what he did in previous life is able to get him. Mystic on the back end is able to pick up 2 on the side of stairs as well, and that's a beautiful play from UAA to take A side with force. That's going to be a Nightmare shutdown all over A on that Cypher, and he's just not having a great time. I mean, usually you play around the Sentinels on any sort of team, but it looks like UAA has a fun time playing straight into his hands, into his setup, and they have no problem shutting it all down. Taking a quick scoreboard check here. Looks like our double duelists of Mystic and Rack are having a great game so far. With the assists coming in from Sonata and Boats as well. Things are definitely looking up from the teamwork side of UAA. Could be a little bit of a bait here with the doors. They're kind of going back and forth here. Kind of just waiting to see who makes the first move. Mystic doesn't really know if anyone lurked up A main or not. This could prove a little bit of a problem here. Fade Eye is going to go out. Mystic didn't shoot it, so they don't exactly know that he was the one there. But it looks like they're going to lean back towards C. Smokes are going to go down. Yeah, and it looks like this is going to be an entry here. Breach ult is going to come through to combat this, but the only one that didn't get stunned was Rack. He's going to shoot it, and the Showstopper shuts down the Breach. Lunosen, however, is going to get the trade, and it's going to be a 4v4 ultimately on the site before the raise of Koga shuts things down as well. That's a double pick, and it leaves everything up to Mystic, as he was just stuck on B the entire time. First pick is going to come down, however, and that Clove isn't going to come back to life, and that might be the death of things for New Mexico State, because if I've ever seen anyone clutch this, it's going to be Mystic. 10 seconds left. He has to get things moving, though. 1v1 on site. But it looks like he's just going to elect to play for picks here. His time is going to run out, unfortunately. Couple of ults utilized from the side of New Mexico State, however, and UAA. So a little bit of couple trades there. We use Showstopper for Breach ult. Not a terrible trade. As honestly, that Breach ult wasn't the best placed, so kind of helped us out a bit. I mean, Rack was able to sneak through and get a kill, but to the members that it did stun, unfortunately, they were not in the best place possible. But still, 3-4 on a Lotus map that really is just all decided by... Ooh, yikes. Unfortunate throw from Phoenix there. Probably wishes he had that one back. Or Sonata, rather. It's going to be a very weird buy from the side of UAA. It looks like Sonata wasn't able to get the full purchase that he might have wanted. Just a lot of util being traded on both sides. Phoenix not unaware of the shots that are coming towards his side. Almost bites the bullet there. Still 55 seconds remaining, so still a lot of time to play with. And exactly what they want to do with it is going to be key here. The Breach is just not leaving on C, so this could effectively... This could effectively be just a straight-on hit. Regardless of the numbers, it's going to be uneven for the side of NMSU, but, I mean, they take those numbers and make it straight back into their favor. And despite the dismiss, that's going to just be a death box for UAA, and unfortunately, they find themselves on the wrong end of it. Highly unfortunate for the side of UAA, but things do even up. On a Lotus map that I was saying earlier, really, if you find yourself being extremely aggressive on the defense, taking A main, taking C main, then you can really find yourself up on these defensive sides. I mean, they do have a raise and a breach combo. I just feel like that's a recipe for disaster, taking these A mains, but doesn't look exactly like they're playing like that. Going to be an extremely light buy after a little bit of a broken round last time around. Breach still not moving at all on that C side of things. But I like this lurk this time around. It's forcing New Mexico State to kind of respect the long lurk. Boat's hitting a nasty shot there onto Lunosen. And the rest of UA just has to get back to C. Beautiful headshot from Phoenix, but not able to clean up the kill. It's going to be the Stinger, and the rest of the members are just going to be absolutely flooding here. Love the aggression from the side of UAA to take this site and take backside as well. Mystic's going to have to try to find any sort of picks possible. He's going to get marked by this fade, but no util is going to be able to follow it up. Sonata able to get the following pick, and those two are just holding that back of sight. Rack following it up with nuts, 2 of his own. On an Architect and Koga there. Beautiful round from the side of UAA to work around the weak guns that they had that round. And with an opener from Boats, he's sitting at 3-8, but those impact kills there really make the difference. And that really just opened up the C site for him and Mystic to just take it. Last time around looks like a little bit of a split here. A little bit of a 2-3. Very aggressive on the side of A, and they do have Spike. So I'm intrigued to know if they're just like kind of going up really aggressively and then falling back, but doesn't look like that is going to be the plan. Enemy Fade pretty much knows that this is all for show, but she still gets taken out, and that's going to be a free B site all for UAA. Showstopper's going to come through, sees the clove, and is going to be able to bite the head off that player. Boats on the other end side of things is able to grab the spike, take out the Cypher while doing so. And Mystic is just looking for a highlight reel as our spike's being planted. This revenge game and the lore of this game just keeps going deeper and deeper. Swing comes through the side of Rack, and he's able to shut things down. Raise diff, 3-piece. As Rack keeps racking up kills as he keeps on going through this game, sitting at 16-6. Unfortunately, I don't know if they know about this breaches here, and that's going to be Rack. A little bit of a shutdown there. Nice trade from the side of Boats, however. Shut things down. As well as Phoenix on the lurk of B as well. A little bit of a 1v1. Doesn't take any damage here, but he's really looking to challenge this Raze. I like the aggression, but unfortunately he's going to pay for it. That's going to be 2 players down, actually, from the side of Boats as well. Leaving it all up to Mystic here with the Guardian. Sonata is going to utilize this ult going into this, but also the Fatal from New Mexico State is going to be used as well. Or was New Mexico State's that's going to be used. Mystic, despite having a Vandal, he's going to try to pick that up, but not on time for Sonata to get the trade. And that's going to be a round for New Mexico State as we go into the last round of the half. Is this going to finish with a 7-5 half, or is New Mexico State going to even things up for us? It's looking like it's going to be a long game, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
I need a weapon. I appreciate that. Now we wait.
Nade's going to come through to kind of push things off of A main. That kind of clears for the most part. And that Raze is like so sure that nothing happened. So she just left. But Fade with really close here is going to not take any damage from that nade, but still gets pushed off the position regardless. Omen TP is going to come out and he sees the backside, but he's not able to pick up the Cypher. Leaves him at 1 health regardless though. And the Cypher is still able to deal so much more damage. They're not able to find this tripwire. They're finally able to destroy the util from the Cypher. Fadial is not able to come through, but the Visol is going to shut down the remaining members of New Mexico State and able to get the remaining picks. Rack's able to get the 2-piece off of stairs there, and he's looking for more. Still trying to find this player on Heaven, but not able to find the shots needed. The rest of the remaining members from UA have to get onto site and plant. Satchel is going to come through. Another Satchel comes through, and the Vice is able to get the swing. Beautiful comms from Rack there. From Rack and Vice to get that pick. Sonata with a beautiful team play off the swing there. They know where he is, and they're going to try to play off this util. It's going to be Phoenix throwing out the util to try to get things out. Thorns are going to come through even further. Not going to be able to catch him. And a little bit of unlucky timing there. And I don't think Breach knows exactly where he is. Sonata with a beautiful reposition leads us to a 7-5 half. Beautiful round from the side of UAA and just really good teamwork. I mean, Rack and Phoenix there to calm for Phoenix to get off the spike diffuser, or the spike. To go for the kill, rather, was beautifully played. And then, of course, as Phoenix is laying down the spike for Sonata to just swing out as well, just makes things just that much easier for the team when everything is clicking. And it's definitely extremely exciting to see as we go forward into this round. Now starting on the CT side of things, going to be UAA up 2 rounds. And I would love to see just some early aggression on either side of the map. Looks like things are going to be leaning towards the A main side. Nade's going to go out a little bit early here, but kind of stops them in their tracks before getting into this doorway side of things. Site is now going to start to be hit. Boats still trying to look for any picks possible, but Rax is going to be the only one on site here with the Classic. He's able to pick off 2 with a nade now replenished, but not able to find any more. Mystic and Phoenix are now able to try to help for any sort of reinforcements.
Spike planted.
Mystic able to deal a little bit of damage there with a good shot. And this Sheriff definitely could prove a little bit useful. Sighting out this Cypher, though, is actually really huge. But now that he has 2 players on him, he's able to land a nice headshot there. Mystic has to get in the play, and he's able to do so. Just that. Able to land the 1 shot, and they know that this Cypher's tagged. He just has to go in for a couple of right clicks, able to deal the damage, and that's Mystic with the final laugh, knowing that Fade is very low. He's able to clean things up, and that's going to be a beautiful round and a beautiful retake from UAA to win the pistol. Beautiful start of the half for Mystic. And it looks like he's already going to get incredibly aggro here. Doesn't know that the cam is already lying there and watching. But we're going to have to look onto the site as it's all going to be up to Boats and Phoenix to kind of hold things down as the 5-man onslaught from New Mexico State is lying and waiting. But it looks like they have a little bit of info, knowing that Mystic is flanking. They're going to turn around. They actually had no clue that he was here, but they're able to get at least 1 pick. Sonata trying to help as well. Able to catch timing, and that's going to be another Fade Dog and just a collapse on both ends. UAA is able to shut down New Mexico State and any sort of attack that they had planned. This is looking beautiful from our Valorant team so far. Beautiful stuff from the beginning of this Valorant match for our new team that we've been able to host. Still super excited to see how these matches go and the season overall. Just to know that we have a Valorant team is super exciting, and a bunch of other new teams that we're excited to announce later on. Early aggression from the side of UAA, I love to see it, but that breach flash is going to come out, and unfortunately Rack is dead to rights there as he's fully blind on the other side of things. Mystic was unfortunately going to be taken out as well. But it is just a bonus round. We are just looking for any sort of picks possible to try and narrow down the eco a little bit. Looks like Boats was going to full buy. He might have saved last round. Ooh, unfortunate scan from the side of Phoenix. Not able to take out the Fade Eye. That's going to probably be a free plan here. Would love to see Boats probably just play for kills. I don't know if his eco is going to be up to 3,900 going into next round, but a couple of picks from New Mexico State regardless would be definitely favorable regardless of how the round turns out. Looks like they might just save here and play for picks. Good round regardless from the side of New Mexico State. But just some unfortunate picks. Would love to see a little bit more team play with the util. It's kind of hard given our team comp. We don't really have the utility to kind of garner a really aggressive take on A main or C. You know, usually you see those with either jets or breaches, but really all we have is a double raise satchel, and once she gets back there, it's you're kind of stuck at that point. So maybe thinking creative with a paranoia, maybe. A paranoia followed up with like a fade eye and maybe a nade with a double satchel. Could definitely take one of these sides of the map with force.
Yeah, we wait.
On the other side of things, it's going to look like it's going to be an A hit for this time being. Eco on both sides extremely strong, and it looks like Rack was able to buy an op for this round. Breachstone is going to knock him off the angle for the time being. And as the Cypher cage goes through, it lets New Mexico State just escape just enough for them to lean towards B, rather. And towards this B main side. Could lurk towards C as well, if they decide to, but looks like they're just baiting util, trying to get onto the side, and it's really up to see if Boats is going to be able to just hold his ground and not bite on either A or C. Lying and waiting. Both teams are on the side of UAA. It doesn't really look like they know exactly what is happening. That fade eye might alert them to see a little bit. But as things go down, Rack unfortunately is going to bite the bullet, and that's going to be another breach stun. Omen Paranoia does go out, however, to stall him for the time being. Boats is just going to be sitting in this corner, lying and waiting in the smoke. Pulls the knife out at the wrong time, but he's able to at least get away with his life.
30 seconds left.
Empress is going to go online for the side of Mystic. And this is going to be a 4v5 retake. Boats gets insta-traded after getting the first pick. Mystic able to get the first pick on Empress, but Phoenix is going to fall. Still looking for anything here. Sonata has to get this pick to try to help out Mystic in the best way possible, and he's able to do so, but Mystic unfortunately gets the crown knocked off his head. And unfortunately for Sonata, not able to find anything of his own. And that's going to be 2 rounds in a row lost for UAA, and we're going to be sent right straight back into a save round. Our economy is absolutely thwarted here. And it looks like New Mexico State is going to be running up with an op this round. Would love to see how that actually plays out, because if things swing in our favor, then that's another op right into Rack's hands. Love the aggression from the side of UAA. They're going to be taking things, and that's going to be a fade eye, however. That's going to shut things down on the side of Mystic. A little bit unlucky, but they're able to get the trade quick and easy. Breach ult and the breach util, though. Oh my god, it's just too well placed. And that's going to force UAA back just a little bit. What a shot from Phoenix. Able to take the head off of 2 members of NMSU. And all of a sudden, we find ourselves even in body count. And if Boats is able to lurk up here and get a TP without it being alerted, this definitely could be very interesting here. He's able to take a third with the op, shuts down the Cypher. And all of a sudden, we're in a winnable situation.
Last player standing.
He is going to fall, however. Nightmare is going to go out. And that leaves Boats completely blind. Just absolutely terrified.
Spike planted.
Is going to pop the ult, has the gun disadvantage, but he has to push this correctly. Has a Vandal at his feet, but at this close of range, the Stinger might just be the best play here. Does look like he's going to elect to utilize the Vandal here, and he could long arm this. Hold up. The Fate is going to swing, and he gets the kill. A 2v4 clutch from UAA. And all of a sudden, the Thrifty is on board. I don't know why he's not going to pick up the op. He needs to go pick up the op. He doesn't see it. He completely forgot. They're probably just celebrating. It's all good. But it's completely fine with what a beautiful round that was. From the depths, Phoenix just absolutely showcases his sheriff skills. I'm telling you, this team is no slouch when it comes to the Thrifties or any sort of sheriff round. They are hitting every shot is on its mark. And that just shows you how badly they want this game.
Catch them. Where are you? Still waiting.
Looks like door's going to open, but Sonata's going to be the one to unfortunately be shut right down in front of it. And it looks like this A site is just going to be free for the taking. We do have Showstopper and a double satchel that definitely could prove useful here for a nice retake, but looks like Rack utilizes one of them, but Phoenix able to get one pick and pops his ult. That's going to be a swing from the Clove before it pops, however, but Boats is able to get the trade with Mystic on the end. It's going to be the Neural Theft is going to go online to alert the members of New Mexico State, but Rack is able to save Mystic there on that first swing. Mystic unable to win the fight and the duel on towards Tree. It's going to be all up to Boats here to kind of cut off this long angle, but he's going to give it up and allow New Mexico State to kind of take side, but Rack is able to get the pick there and leave it up to a 1v2. All of a sudden, he's shaking the mouse. He knows that these shots are hilarious to hit after he unfortunately did knock at the satchel there, but things still might work out in the end. 10 seconds remaining. Breach does have the spike. Able to land a couple shots, scare him. He knows that the spike has to be planted, and the swing comes through, and that's a 7-11 scoreline for the side of UAA. Things are looking up so far, as I believe we send New Mexico State into a eco, or they have to save here. And things are all of a sudden looking up for our Valorant team, hoping that we can push ourselves to match point here. Looks like a heavy push towards C. Last time around when they did do this C push, Mystic lurked up mid. And it looks like NMSU is kind of playing for that, but no lurks from the side of UAA are going to give up any sort of guns. Extremely well played from their side. A little bit of a preemptive paranoia there, as he's just going to get dumped with util. He actually has no clue that nobody is on site. It's just a dumping of util on the side of C with nobody to follow up on it. Almost cost Boat his life there. Doesn't look like Sonata bought anything. Interesting. Omenal, why is it used for some information there? As Boats knows that they're kind of leaning towards this BC side. Doesn't see anything towards A. Rack is going to kind of be just chilling here, as NMSU is really just confused on exactly where they want to end up here. Rack hears some good noise. He's going to have to shoot that eyeball out, but the Showstopper is going to come through, and he gets taken out from the side of Architect. Nightmare is going to have to be held here and go through, once again, a little bit preemptively used. Just a little too early. And they're going from C to A to B. Looks like they're doing a world tour here, and Phoenix is able to get the first pick. Clove looking for the next, but Phoenix is able to take down the first two. Sonata, unfortunately, only has a classic, and they have no time to plan, actually, with barely any time. Sonata doing trick shots with the classic, able to shut down Keanu and take us to match point, ladies and gentlemen, for the first map of this series. Mystic playing with the plushie.
No prisoners.
Excited and hopeful to take us to the map Ascent, which is dawning for the side of NMSU, as it was their map choice. But going into the second map just down 0-1 is definitely not a situation where you want to be at, especially in this domination of a fashion here. I know it's only 7-12, it's fairly close, but with the way that some of these rounds have gone, it's really either just felt like UAA either just dominated or it was a very close round win from New Mexico State. It's been extremely exciting to see the amount of highlight reels that have been set for the side of not only just Rack, as we see his POV here, but just all of UAA in general. Looks like Boats is going to be seeing the members here from NMSU come down. He's able to get the first pick, but Phoenix, however, is going to get caught off guard from the side of Rays here. And really the only one to kind of stop any sort of C push is going to be Sonata here. Door opens. He's able to get the swing, but not the kill. Rack's going to open things up, but that breach is just taking our members down one by one. Stun's going to go through, and we have another 2v4 on our hands. Don't know exactly if UAA has the magic to do it. The breach util from Mikkel is just shutting things down, really. And Boats finds himself in another precarious situation. Swing comes through, able to take down one, but breach with the 4K. Snaps. But it's still match point for our Seawolves. Let's see exactly how they respond to that round. Our util is down a little bit, so we could elect to save just one more round and play off of Mystic's Vandal. But it looks like electing to play it off of with this aggression is going to be here off this B main here. But they're going to have to hurry up because it looks like this time around New Mexico State is not playing about taking this site. This Raze is chasing down Phoenix. Just not going to let him get any sort of space here. Nice shot with the classic to deal some damage. Any future gunfight will definitely look very favorable for the side of UAA, as multiple members of NMSU are extremely lit here. That Nightmare site is going to come down, though, and definitely slow things down for the time being. Mystic, unable to get any sort of picks, is going to have to trade all the guns towards the Rack. And he just says, here, go do it. Go win us the round. And I'm sure Rack will likely oblige to that request. Breach stun goes through, and things are looking a little bit dim as time's looking to thin out, but Rack's able to get the first pick. Double satchels in, but gets shut down. Mystic left in remaining, but to the left of Mystic, unfortunately, was a Cypher lying and waiting for that pick. Great round for the most part to try to damage the eco, but not much is going to be done as New Mexico State is able to full buy, and that allows us to as well to get a couple buys on the board. A lot of regen shield going through from the side of UA, so everyone says the hardest round to win is that last one. So we're definitely going to have to see here if whether or not we're truly able to win this. And unfortunately, that's going to be Sonata down with the first blood. Just gets caught lurking just out in the middle of the open. Mystics is going to look down a drop here. Here's the spike being planted. Gets that spray down. What a beautiful connect from Mystic as he gets the double kill. And this all of a sudden is looking very grim for the side of New Mexico State. Util is going to go through, and all three have to swing Mystic, but none find the kill. still lying and waiting, still has Empress in the back pocket, but he's not going to be able to pop it here, and all of a sudden that leaves Phoenix in a 1v2 situation to close out the game or extend it further for New Mexico State. Time is ticking. You hear that spike going down, and he just loses the gunfight. I would have loved to see Mystic just kind of go for it there with the Empress ult, but looks like they're just going to save it.
Now we wait.
Now things are looking a little bit scary as we are forced into another save round. So unless we can pull something out of the depths, this looks like it's going to be an 11-12 scoreline, pushing us all the way, hopefully not into OT. This looks like another fast take from the side of NMSU, and Ray's going to be pushing up onto this corner here, but no trade's going to be able to come through. The shorty is just not able to do the work needed. And without that Ray's pick, I mean, things are looking very dire straits for the side of UAA. And despite a Mystic flank here, he's going to need some incredible magic to try to do anything. Cypher Cam, he's just not able to find it. Sees it in the tree back there, but just barring any sort of crazy miracle, this looks like it is going to be around for New Mexico State. And I mean, with the amount of momentum that they've been able to procure for the last couple of rounds, this is definitely looking a little bit scared from the side of UAA.
No one beats my firepower. I got this.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The final round, hopefully. Match points still for UAA as they found themselves from 12-7 to 12-11 on the map of Lotus. This is the first map in the series if you're just now joining in. This was UAA's map pick. But New Mexico State is not going down without a fight. Fighting us on the CT side of things. For the time being, 4 ults on both sides. Everything has to be used. I don't know why Mystic's not using his ult here. Everything has to be utilized. Looks like UAA is just giving so much space here. Vice wall is there.
Wall tripped.
It's able to trip the wall. So they know that they're in B main. But it doesn't look like most of the members of UAA are falling for this. But, I mean, quite literally, New Mexico State just kind of walked in for sight on their own. It looks like they're going to be using Vice ult for the retake here. Waiting for the plant sound. That's going to be Vice. Pops the ult. That's unfortunately going to be the first blood going towards New Mexico State. No more trades are going to be happening impossible. But that's going to be Boats with 1. Not able to find the second. And all of a sudden, it's a 2v4 in the hands of New Mexico State. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to overtime. This is looking a little bit dark. And yeah, Mystic just didn't use his ult at all. I wonder, hopefully it wasn't a visual bug or something, but now going into this next half, I mean, we found ourselves a little bit more success on the side of the attacking side of things, but going down 12-7 is definitely not exactly where you want to see yourself. Just a couple of mistakes made here and there, but overall, I definitely have faith that we can take this one and run away with it. Possible early Vice 1v1 here with the Cypher. But it looks like they're just going to dip their way off of C. Cypher goes back, pops his cam, but This is beautiful timing for Phoenix if he reads it correctly, but I don't think he really hears the audio. Beautiful shot from the side of Phoenix there. They're gonna have to hold back. Thorns come out, but it wasn't able to land exactly where the Cypher is. All the utils being exhausted on the side of the B site. Fade is trying to do as much as possible, but Phoenix keeps shutting things down. Mystic with the next, and a 5v2 strike back. This is a huge answering note from the side of UAA so far, but they have to close out this round. 2v4 still, and this breach from the side of NMSU has been a problem. I really like the setup so far. Nice shots from the side of Mystic to shut things down on the side of Lunozen, but that breach is still just lying and waiting for any sort of more util. I can just hear the comms right now. I can just bet I can hear that it's just saying, don't peek, don't peek, don't peek. And the one to peek is going to be the breach, and he's going to fall. And once again, we find ourselves at match point.
Switching sides. Match point.
Side of UAA finding themselves in a very good spot here. To hopefully go forth and take us into map 2 of Ascent, or we might find ourselves in a very long back and forth chess game with NMSU.
Last trap destroyed.
Looks like they're leaning towards C this time. I wonder if Mystic would do any plays with the doors. Yeah, it looks like they're just going to go straight towards site there. Nice fade catch from the side of Sonata to slow things down. I don't think he knew that he caught literally like 4 of them. Beautiful shot from the side of Mystic to get the kill and get out of dodge. That's the first pick and the first blood for this round to hopefully shut things out. Beautiful op from the side of Rack as well. Shuts down Linozen. And all of a sudden we find ourselves in a 5v3 scenario. A huge advantage that we cannot lose going forward. The 3 remaining players from the side of NMSU are leaning towards the seaside mound. With Phoenix and Sonata getting a little bit precarious here.
There.
Where if they die, things could definitely get a little bit problematic. For the rest of the setup towards UAA isn't really responding to this. I mean, a lot of members are still over here towards C. Fade Dog is going to come through, and Phoenix is able to pick it up. What a snap from Sonata, able to get the first pick. And ladies and gentlemen, Sonata caps things off with our first map win of the VALORANT season for UAA Esports. We'll see you in map 2, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your lovely Valorant special. Sorry, I gotta swap this over, but here we go. We're gonna be going on the next map, map 2 of the series. If you're just now joining in, ladies and gentlemen, UAA Esports Valorant team, the first of its kind, the first there's ever been. They were able to strike first and take map 1 on Lotus, but now we're going into map 2 since this is a best of 3 series. If you're unfamiliar with what a best of 3 is, that pretty much just means that it's the first to 2. Most people know best of 3 playing rock, paper, scissors growing up, and that's pretty much the exact same concept, but with the maps of Valorant. And going into our next map is going to be the one that was chosen by New Mexico State White, as they chose Ascent, which gives us the choice to choose which side that we want to start on. And we're going to be starting on CT, also known as Defenders. Looking at our comp last game was definitely very creative. We had not much, after speaking with the team from the previous game, they felt like they didn't have much intel to go off of, and I could definitely see that. You know, the only initiator they have is Fade, but doesn't really give them too much utility to go off of when in terms of finding and locating some enemies. But this time around, it looks like we're going to see a very basic comp on the side of Ascent with a KJ, Omen, Jet, and Soba. But it looks like Mystic is going to hop on the Yoru. Definitely going to be an interesting game here, and I'm excited to see exactly how he plays through this character, as Yoru has definitely been seeing a little bit of a uptick in competitive play on specific maps, but excited to see how he plays here on Ascent and exactly what UAA is cooking up. Listening to their comms a little bit, not trying to leak too much, but it definitely seemed like they chose Yoru more for the flash capability. And in that instance, you can kind of go for the either Phoenix or Yoru pick there. Doesn't look like they were very happy with Reyna's flashes, or blinds rather. So looks like this time around we have a couple of role swaps. Boats is going to hop onto the Sentinel role. Sonata still on the Initiator, with Phoenix hopping on to the Controller. Early sights from Rack, seeing this Sova just bob and weave back and forth, just waiting for any sort of aggression, but the entire time they've been lurking up towards tree here. Cypher is going to come through. That's going to allow the swap, and the bob and weave has just not been proven useful. Mystic and Rack, the Rack attack duo, as they're able to slice things down, cut things down onto the tree, and all of a sudden this long lurk from the side of New Mexico State is all for naught. Flawless round from the side of UAA, and that's a beautiful way to start things off on Ascent. Keeping in mind that the first map of Lotus was taken by UAA, but that was our map pick. Usually, when it comes to a team's map pick, they're extremely confident on it. And although it was a very close nail-biter of a match, UAA was able to take it, but to be able to win on the enemy's map pick is extremely difficult sometimes. Oh, and the only thing difficult is going to be taking Mystic down, because he's like a cat with 9 lives, almost just dancing with the devil there, right in the face of death. And he's able to get away for the time being. New Mexico State is really just trying to find any sort of avenue that they can kind of go down. But it's going to be Phoenix to strike first blood. And although despite some incredible mechanical skills, it's kind of be all up to Rack here with the Marshal in hand, the Sheriff. But it's the rest of the team, actually, that's able to get another flawless round. Beautiful stuff from the side of our UAA Valorant team. if each of you had $1, or if each of you got $1 for each time that I said that our team, that this Valorant team is the first of its kind, you guys might be rich. I'm not gonna lie. But unfortunately, that doesn't allocate. That's not allocated into our budget. So it doesn't look like any of you is going to receive compensation for that. Rack, however, is looking to claim some compensation of his own, but it's going to be quickly shut down by the Sova. Might have been a little bit of a miscomm exactly, as Phoenix also dies to the Sova as well. Not able to see exactly where he is. It's going to be Sovadrome. While he is able to spot a couple members from the side of NMSU, the location of the drone is going to spot himself. So far, so good for the side of NMSU, but, I mean, this is a great hold for if you're the side of UAA. 40 seconds left, and it is just a bonus for them. With just a bunch of Buckies, kind of just hoping that they get any sort of damage possible, and the Ares in hand as well. They kind of know that they're leading towards this B side as well, so if KJ is able to get just one more pick, I mean, things could definitely prove very good for the side of UAA. Bucky shot comes through. That's Boats with a trick shot. If he gets anywhere closer, one shot, two shot, that's Boats with the kill. And now all of a sudden, it's left to the KO of Architect. Up against Mystic and Boats with barely any time and no spike in hand. Mystic is trying to just look for any shorter shots possible, and that's gonna be a thrifty round for the defenders of UAA. Beautiful stuff from the side of Boats to hold things down on the side of Lane and Steps. Beautiful work for UAA. So let's see how now this round goes. Rack with the signature op in hand. The Appa Stoppa. You cannot stop the Rack attack. This has just been clinical work from the side of UAA, and if, barring some crazy timing that Rack just gives up this angle. It's so funny. It's so funny from the observer perspective, seeing these outlines and just being able to just be like, it's so easy for us to be like, just shoot your gun, but you know, obviously they can't see them. Regardless, however, it's gonna be Mystic that actually falls, unfortunately, despite getting the kill onto Lenozen.
I know exactly where.
And with the Cypher roll going out, all of a sudden, this round is looking a little bit favorable for the side of NMSU with the post plan in their favor. Rack really kind of being the one that has to question himself whether or not he's going to be the one to save or not, but he's actually the one that starts the endeavors on all ends, and he takes down 4 on the round and capitalizes a 4-0 for the side of UAA. Rack is firing on all cylinders today. Looks like they're leaning towards this A site. It looks like they're going to be taking it extremely fast here. I have no clue if they have any idea that this is going on, but luckily before the door closes, Phoenix is able to get a kill, so
Spike planted.
this is definitely not looking terrible. Unfortunately, we have no KJL to kind of retake this site. Boats with a beautiful shot on Architect is going to be leading the charge as Phoenix gets the next swing comes through. Not able to find the Clove that's sitting bottom hell, but they know now. And after a couple of sprays and a couple of dances, it's going to be UAA finding themselves with another round 5-0. Starting things strong on the enemy's map pick. And if you guys didn't know, last week we actually played New Mexico State White. This is the same exact team in the placement matches, and we actually lost to them on Ascent. It was a really close game, regardless. I believe it was 12-10, but I mean, things definitely are changing the tides here. I'll say that much.
Blocking sight.
Mystic is going to get a beautiful pick there to shut down what was a extremely scary peek from the side of Rack. Able to updraft and get his way out of dodge. But unfortunately, the only one that's met with death is going to be Phoenix, but also Koga. The Jet of New Mexico State has just not been able to find the same amount of success that he found while he was raised on the side of Lotus. And unfortunately, because of that, it's kind of leading them into a very unfortunate game, and that's going to be a 3v1 all of a sudden in our favor, but I don't think they read. I don't know if they know that he's coming from behind them at all. Rack might die because of this. He has no clue where the Sova is. He's just trying to play the spike as much as possible. This would be a crazy flick. What the? Sova? 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 I'm lost of words. I know you guys can't see me right now, but my hands are up like the absolute cinema guy. I am at a loss of words. I've been doing this casting thing for a very long time, but I unfortunately have not seen anything like that before. So we're just going to leave the comments at that. I really thought Rack was going to meet his maker there. But unfortunately for Sova, that was not the case. But now it looks like here Sonata's trying to find anywhere possible to try to get into the line of sights of the members of NMSU, but it's going to be Rack to take things down. And it's going to be Sonata following things up as well, and it's really just each member of UAA just absolutely clicking, but it's going to be Mystic that gets his head clicked, unfortunately, and things are going to open the doors a little bit slightly, but Boats lying and waiting here on the back of Jen, just waiting for any sort of door to open for himself.
I know exactly where.
Cypherall is going to come through, electing the Blade Storm from Rack to go on site, and he's just going to use absolutely everything there. Sees the right click, not going to be used, but he's able to get the kill regardless. Boat's able to shut things down on site, gets the 2-piece, and that's going to be his site. No one is allowed to plan on it, and no one's allowed to get around on our UAA Valorant team. Things are looking up. Boats is sitting at 6-0. He has not died yet. When it comes to holding down sight on A site, shooting through smokes and swinging people with the Phantom, or if it's on B site with the Bucky in hand, nothing can kill this man or take him down. Going to be Mystic absolutely just catching everybody on the side of New Mexico State here, and that's going to be the site taken down, and on everything on site it's going to be Phoenix just sitting in the cage here, gets the scan off of Sonata's arrow, and they're able to get the kills off of that. Clovol is going to come through, and he's able to get the pick to shut that thing down. Jet still on site, however, but the flank from the tree is able to get the kills needed. Sonata still looking for any sort of wallbang possible. Not able to find it. Bladestorm is going to come through.
Spike planted.
Sonar Arrow is almost online, but the Bladestorm from Koga is not able to get the kills, and Boats is not dying just yet. He's sitting at 8-0, and he's not going to be the one to fall as he's at 9-0. Boats cannot die. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? It's himself. 8-0 for UAA on Ascent. Things continue to look up for our team right now as they're absolutely just climbing the ranks. And now with a bucket of ults in hand and NMSU's weak economy, it is just not looking up for them so far.
Recalling my bot. Placing alarm bot. Placing swarm grenade.
KO is going to go through here. And that's going to shut down a lot of the util from KJ. But on the side of things, it's going to be Sonata. Shuts down the KO. He's going to go through with the Odin. Is able to get the pick on a Cypher before biting the bullet. And now puts us in a 4v3. But one of them is going to be Rezik. Nice shot from Rack, but it's not going to land this time. And it's going to be a KJ ult from the side of UAA. Oh my god, what a running shot on the side of Phoenix. And I mean, they don't really have much time now. Phoenix Blonde is going to come through. And that's going to be another shot from the back end with the Odin. It's going to almost shut things down. Boats unfortunately dies this time around. But it's all up to Rack. With the op in hand, he definitely has enough to buy another one next round. So there's really no point in saving it. Oh, just gets timing. Oh, it's so unfortunate. Incredibly unfortunate. UAA dropped around. It's over, ladies and gents. It's over. No, I'm just kidding. 8-1 scoreline, still showing absolute dominance. Looking to extend this even further. We still have an incredible amount of econ to buy even further. It looks like Mystic has been just using shotguns this entire game. I mean, he either has a Bucky or a Judge in his hand. And it looks like he's going to do just that this round as well. Doesn't look like Rack has enough to buy an op this time, though. So it's just going to elect to utilize the Vandal. But with no KO ult, it looks like New Mexico State is really running out of cards to play here. And with a very dangerous cross to be set. That's a pop flash that goes through, but line him up for Phoenix as Rack bites the bullet. But the Judge from Mystic is able to find one before dying towards the Clove. And now in a 2v3 scenario, multiple ults and better guns in hand. This definitely could be really nice for Phoenix here if he catches timing, but tries to pre-fire. Not in the best favor now. If Sonata lands this nice wall bang, he gets the one, but it's not going to land any sort of hits there. Hunter's Fury is going to come through, but doesn't land any sort of tags. Gets that first one. Notices that Jen is very close by, and that's a hit on 70. If Boats is able to clean up this kill, then things definitely could be very nice. Sees the Jet in the corner. That's very huge. And that's Sonata cleaning it up as well. And we find ourselves back on top, 9-1. Let's keep things rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
Is everyone's tech still working? Double check it, please.
Of course, however, things are a lot easier on the defensive side of things, so we definitely don't want to get our hopes up too much. But having this amount of a lead is definitely a good thing to take the weight off the shoulders going into the attacking half in the next 3 rounds. And if we're able to end this around 10-2, even 11-1, that'd be fantastic. But a 9-3 curse would definitely not be very favorable. Sovidar goes out and is going to scan a ton of members from the side of New Mexico State. And that kind of alerts everyone to kind of get on board for this B train here. Phoenix is going to hear that there's a Cypher wire inbound. And he's going to be met with a ton of members. Looks like Jet is just going to dash right in front of his face, but it ends up working out somehow. He only had a Vandal, and up against the rack attack, you're not doing much. KO is going to be the one to buy the Vandal or grab the Vandal now, but the spike is still down over on this B site with the 3 members of NMSU just lurking up, lying and waiting. Boats has to stay alert to this. He hears the alarm bucket shot. He calls to his team, and Rack's able to get the first pick on towards the CT side of things. He gets a collateral, knocking down 4 members of New Mexico State and looking for the ace, but Mystic steals it. And that's going to be 10-1 for the side of UAA, looking to cement themselves at either 11-1 or 10-2. Things are looking up for the side of our new Valorant team. Let's see how things go. Mystic just lying and waiting. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get out in time. That's a second collateral for rack attack. Oh my gosh. What are these lineups that he's hitting? Spray comes through from Sonata, not able to find the pick, but it's just a 2v4. And what can you do at that point? Met up with the Vandal, gets flashed, and Phoenix is still going to find it out. And before this half ends, it's a 1v4. Rack looking to try to get the pick. Still electing to play safe. I really appreciate the humbleness and the respect towards Lenozen. But it doesn't matter. Lying and wait. Oh, yikes. Oh, I almost caster cursed it. This definitely could be a very winnable round. Hold on. Definitely could have been a caster curse lying and waiting. They're gonna hear the bomb being, the spike being planted on A side, so they definitely could go over here, kind of do a little bit of a bait and switch for the side of Rack, as Boats has pretty much full health here. They know hell's not clear, so going with this sentry will be huge. Okay, they know that he's not in the corner, but they know that he's not just out in front, but they have to know that he's in the corner still. Corner is going to be cleared by Boats, and the full sprint is going to come through. No revive from the side of Clove to save that KD. And that's going to be an 11-1 half from the side of UAA. Ladies and gentlemen, it's looking dominant.
Switching sides.
Let's keep things up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's strike strong, and let's end it now. Take us to match point, and then end it in the bye round. It looks like UAA has a very strong push cooking up here, and the only one to meet it is a Jet and a Cypher with no util on site. Arrow comes through. A couple of shock darts and a KO dagger. But are they going to be able to get through onto this site? 2 guns are pointing towards their way, and no members of New Mexico State are really taking the space here. They know they have A main. Flash comes through, and they see the Jet that's right under, and that's going to be shut down by Boats. Shotgun comes through, and who else but Boats? Lenozen, however, evens things out a little bit more, and Sonata's kind of stuck here in this B main. He kind of just has to hide and play for his life for the remainder of this round. Rack's able to get a pick. Take us to the 3v3, and they know that Sonata's just sitting here, but they have to wait, lying and waiting. They know that he's going main. They know that he's going lane as well, and it's going to be Sonata with the last laugh on the back of Rack's 3K. And ladies and gentlemen, we're at match point.
We can end it now. Once more.
If you are just now joining in, you have missed not only a first map nail biter of a map, going from 14 to 12 on the map of Lotus, and UAA taking the first map, striking first in the first series of UAA Esports Valorant, but then just to come out in the second game and just absolutely stomp in a 12-1 fashion. This is just some beautiful stuff from the side of UAA. And if they're able to just stomp them here and end it out, and who else but Rack? Door gets closed, and Mystic is unfortunately going to be biting the bullet here. And this will be an unfortunate death if Rack's not able to get the kill. And he's not. Vandal will be picked up, however. And it's still in a 2v3 advantage for UAA. They know that KJ's heaven. Oh, wait, no, that's RKJ. Whoops. They know that Cypher is somewhere on site, but they have no clue where he is. He definitely could have hopped up main. And they should know after they clear this hell. Phoenix on the other side of things is not going to be able to win the duel up against the Jet. And this is now a 2v2 scenario to end the game. Stinger from the side of Cypher is able to cut things out, but Boats, unfortunately, is going to get taken out this time around. And that's going to be a 12-2 scoreline, but still, sitting at match point is going to be UAA. Last time around, unfortunately, it was a little bit scary with UAA on match point, finding themselves at 12-7, but then ended up taking it all the way to overtime. UAA just has to find the winning formula, the secret formula to get themselves onto site and winning these rounds. Vrack, just the MVP of the series. I mean, 23-5, had a crazy stat line on the first map as well. He's been doing wonders for the team and just alleviating so much stress and opening up so much space on the map. Very awkward buy for the side of both teams. Both teams really only have about one AR. Boats having the Phantom and Koga having the Vandal. Definitely going to be interesting to see exactly how this round is played, but they're going to be lurking up right into the face of the Clove, and that's going to be Lenozen saying goodnight, as it looks like the rest of the round lies in the hands of Koga on site, but the rest of the team of UAA are flooding him, and he gets faulted by Rack. Now, in a 12-2 scoreline, sitting at match point, it's a 12v or 5v1 flawless end of the game for UAA. And that's going to be a 2-0 series for UAA Esports Valorant. We'll see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, for our next game of Marvel Rivals. We'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. GG's.